So, as we sit here right now, we are just days away from the midterm elections. And recent polling has shown that Republicans are poised to take control back of the House and Senate. How did this happen?
I think it happened because of the economy and worries about inflation, which are hitting people every day. The constant reassurances from the Federal Reserve and from the Biden administration that things were getting better, that it was only transitory. Obviously, people are feeling it harder and harder. So that's the big issue. There's also a feeling the country's not going in the right direction. Those poll numbers are extraordinary. So the focus on those issues, the economy, where the country is going, is why the GOP is poised to take control both of the House of Representatives and, amazingly, control of the Senate. Also, will be interesting will be the governor's races in various states, including New York State. These are very blue states, but in a couple of them you could see Republicans winning, which would be a huge surprise.
So, what do you think is the top issue for voters?
The top issue is the economy. Top issue is the inflation and the feeling that things are going to get worse, not better. The feeling that next year we're going to have a slow year, not a boom year. The consumer surveys are really in the tank. And so when people feel that economically things are not going well, they will take action at the polls.
And historically, when the economy isn't doing so hot, is this usually the top of mind issue for voters?
The economy usually is the top of mind. Famously, back in 1992, when Bill Clinton first ran for president, his campaign manager said, "It's the economy, dash, stupid, exclamation mark." That's the issue they used against the incumbent, George H.W. Bush, and they beat him on the economic issue. The economy had been in a mild recession. Even though the economy is starting to recover, voters felt that things weren't going well, and so an incumbent lost the presidency. So you're going to find a lot of people in the House and the Senate and in governor's chairs, incumbents are going to lose because of the feeling that the economy is not going in the right direction. And the news from overseas about the economy around the world is not reassuring.
The economy grew 2.6% this third quarter, but did shrink the first two quarters. Do you think this is enough for Democrats to point to and say, hey, this is turning around, we're going in a new direction, or is this too little too late?
Well, in terms of people seeing GDP numbers, those are abstractions. What they see is what they pay at the marketplace, what they pay at the gas pump. Gas prices did go down, then they started to go up again. The president took credit when they went down, suddenly going up. Bad Vladimir Putin's at it again. And so voters, I think, are going to take it out on the incumbents. They don't feel that they're in charge. They don't feel they have the right policies. So in that sense, the third quarter GDP number is not reassuring. And as a matter of fact, most economists look in terms of those GDP numbers at a number called final sales. And that shows the real direction of the economy. In the first quarter of the year, even though the GDP number was down, the final sales number was still growing at a 2% annual rate. Second quarter went down to 0.5%, and the third quarter was 0.1%, 0.1%. The reason GDP went up was because of trade numbers, the way we count trade in the GDP, government spending we count in the way we do a GDP, inventories. But in terms of final sales, the trend is definitely downward.